Turkey's Prime Minister Erdogan calling for calm today, just as protesters vow they will carry on after a weekend of anti-government protests. That is a live shot there of Istanbul. With us to tell us more about what's been going on and what to expect, the Wall Street Journal's world news editor, Eduardo Kaplan, is on the set with us. That's what's happening there. It seems reasonably calm. That hasn't been the case this weekend.
No, not at all. And what started as a seemingly small protest has shown tremendous resilience. And in fact, it has grown at times where we've seen some clashes in efforts to quench it.
Now the clashes have stopped now, and at least part of the story there is the government has backed off. The protesters certainly haven't backed off, have they?
We don't have a sense. The presence is still there at the park. And what is surprising too is, even though the government has remained adamant, at least Prime Minister Erdogan saying that he will not back down, the movement has amalgamated into a really wide, disparate numbers of elements in the society, which leads to a number of questions about Erdogan and the government, and how Turkey and the society is changing.
Greece has a completely different set of problems. Turkey's there. It's a big, very militarized country. You've got a secular government,
yes,
but with an Islamic-based party in power, and it's very strong. Erdogan leads that party. It's very strong. That's part of this, isn't it?
Very much so. That's quite right. Some of the protesters have complained that they feel that Erdogan is relying too much on, if you will, religious conservatives within his party, and that he is sort of betraying the promise of a secular nation. There were recent measures, some under consideration, some have not been approved yet. One of them is a banning of alcohol sales at certain hours of the day. Some members of the coalition have asked for even more stringent social regulations, if you will. And there's some sense that the protesters are taking issue with that.
Okay, and I know going back a bit, Turkey had wanted to join the European Union. They may be thinking that may have not been such a great idea. Looking back at it now on that decision, and they've also got problems on the border with Syria, with lots of refugees flooding over. That isn't to do with the current protest, but it is all part of a lot going on in Turkey at the moment.
That is very right. I mean, it's a very, very good analysis. If anything, it shows the relevance of Turkey in the world and in Europe as well. It shares borders, yes, with Iraq, with Syria, and it is a key NATO. It's a key NATO ally. It is a member of NATO, and so yes, anything that happens in Turkey has major, global repercussions.
And we will be monitoring this. I know you'll be monitoring it. We will be
Indeed.
too. This situation there, see if it gets resolved peacefully. Thank you very much, Eduardo Kaplan from the Foreign Desk. More on that on WSJ.com.